The Tirupati Prasad politics has escalated now. Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu made a shocking charge yesterday that there are reports from the NDTV, National Dairy Development Board, which have said that animal fat was unfortunately used to make the Tirupati Laddoos, which are considered very sacred and special. Now the centre has intervened in this controversy. Union Health Minister has called for the report. YSRCP, on the other hand, has hit out at TDP. It has denied these charges. In fact, Jagan, Mohan, Reddy, YSRCP Supremo and also former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh has sought court-monitored probe into this matter. Jagan has spoken on this, saying that this is politics of diversion. He has accused the TDP of using politics which is basically centered around faith. He's saying that this is diversion of politics and he has called all the allegations false. He said that this is unwarranted controversy, while TDP has said that this was Jagan Mohan Reddy's government defiling the very sacred Tirupati deity and the Prasad, and it has asked people of Andhra to revolt against the Chief Minister.
ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా రాజ్య పరిపాలన చేస్తా ఉన్నారు. అన్ని రకాలుగా ఫెయిల్ అయిపోయిన ఈ ప్రభుత్వం చివరికి ప్రతి అడుగులోనూ డైవర్షనే, ప్రతి అడుగులోనూ డైవర్షనే. ఈ డైవర్షన్ పాలిటిక్స్ అనేటివి ఏ స్థాయిలో ఉన్నాయి అనేది ఒకసారి గమనిస్తే ఆశ్చర్యం కలిగించే విధంగా ప్రతి అడుగులోనూ డైవర్షనే కనిపిస్తాయి.
Well, TDP's Lok Sabha floor leader, Mr. Krishna, is with me. Sir, a shocking report had arrived yesterday after, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh claimed that there is beef that is in the prasads of Tirupati temple. They have claimed that, there should be a thorough investigation into it. What you wanted to say, because the entire nation is in shock?
To put it very blunt, I'm not a person. I'm not someone who does anything political with regards to the Tirupati Devasthanam. I'm someone who goes there every year, don't show my head. I river, I pray to God, pray to Venkatesh Swami. So that is the place where I'm not going to do any politics there. But whatever has been mentioned in that report, yesterday it has come out and it was shocking. I'm completely at shock. So I believe thorough investigation has to be done. If there is any incident that has happened that has been mentioned in that report, and if so, what was the reason why that incident has happened, and where the systems were not functioning, because there's thorough checks and balances of every ingredient that goes into the making of prasada at Tirupati Devasthanam. So if there is any systemic failure somewhere that has happened, because if any tenders has been called for, definitely they mention in the tender clearly what is the requirement if we have to supply something. So once someone is going to put a tender for that, they have to look into it and they have to vouch for what they are supplying. So in the whole process, we have to dig deep and we have to find out where anything has happened, and if it has happened, where the system was a failure. So we have to correct it, and we have to see that these kind of incidents, if it has happened, should not be repeated.
As a Hindu, as a citizen of Andhra Pradesh especially, and a devotee of Tirupati Devasthanam Sri Varu, I would like to give some kind of clarity towards this issue, because first of all, the item which is tested, I think either it is ghee or some other thing, but it is not a laddu. The item which will enter Tirupati only after passing 3 kinds of tests, that too in the laboratory of Tirupati Devasthanam. See, giving tender means is not that permitting whatever the utter or gutter the tender made fellow will send to Tirumala, it will not be accepted. So the tender is given, we will check each and every container which reaches Tirumala, and that too of 3 kind of tests. And definitely, yes, this kind of material is failed and it was sent back. But the thing is, it was not mixed into the prasadam. Before going to the preparation of the prasadam only, the test will be conducted, and in case of any such adulterations or alterations in the product, they will be sent back. In such manner, earlier 46 containers were sent back to the tender holders who has already sent that material. So here this thing, first we have to give clarity to the devotees that there is no alterations in the Prasadam Laddu which have taken so far.
Adulter ghee, 4 tankers have been kept aside, and then they were kept aside so that they can be used when the reports come clear. But the reports unfortunately didn't come clear, then we rejected, we sent away. And then we stopped from that supplier.
You mean that only 4 tankers were procured from that blacklisted tenderer? Only 4 tankers were procured so far?
No. Prior to that also there was a procurement. So after we identified samples and sent outside which were found to be adulterated, then we didn't use that tanker which has we identified sample on the basis of doubts.
वाईएसआरसीपी की सरकार का पूरा समर्थन भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र की सरकार को रहा जब तक वो वहां सरकार में थे। सिर्फ एक लैब टेस्ट की रिपोर्ट निकालकर हम सबके मन को इतना व्यथित करने से अच्छा है या अच्छा होता कि सारा खुलासा करते, नाम बताते, जांच का आदेश उसी पहले करते, जांच की रिपोर्ट सामने लाते। अभी क्या हो रहा है, हम सब परेशान, हम सब जो भक्त हैं भगवान तिरुपति के, सबकी आस्था के साथ खिलवाड़ हुआ है। जो दोषी है उसको कड़ी से कड़ी और तुरंत सजा मिलनी चाहिए। इसको फास्ट ट्रैक पे आपको इसकी जांच करनी पड़ेगी, करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि करोड़ों लोगों का, हम सबकी आस्था का इसमें सवाल है।
I don't want to add anything more. Whatever the Honorable Chief Minister has said, that is a very, very matter of very serious concern that needs to be inquired into.
तिरुपति में जो नवद्यम लड्डू पे जो बाउंडर उठा है, उसके बाद से सबकी निगाहें पटना में हनुमान मंदिर पे हैं, क्योंकि तिरुपति के ही तर्ज पे नवद्यम लड्डू का निर्माण और बिक्री का काम जो है वो पटना में हनुमान मंदिर में बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे किया जा रहा है। किशोर कुणाल जी हमारे साथ हैं, जो आप प्रबंधक हैं यहाँ के और सारा आपके जिम्मे होता है। ये बताइए, पिछले 2 दिनों से सर जो कंट्रोवर्सी चल रहा है नवद्यम को लेके, आपके भी सेल पे, बिक्री पे फर्क पड़ा है?
नहीं, हमारे यहाँ अभी इसका कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ा है। पहले तो मैं सब भक्तों को आश्वस्त कर देना चाहता हूँ, यहाँ जो नैवेद्यम बनता है वो 100% शुद्ध है और इसकी हर सामग्री शुद्ध है, और हम लोग इतना प्रिकॉशन लेते हैं कि सबकी जांच होती है। नंदिनी घी आता है कर्नाटक मिल्क फेडरेशन बेंगलोर से, हर कंटेनर पर इसकी शुद्धता का प्रमाण पत्र सरकार द्वारा दिया जाता है। इसके अलावा जो लड्डू बनता है, हर 3 महीने में हम लोग इसको दिल्ली भेजकर इसकी हर सामग्री की जांच कराते हैं और इसकी गुणवत्ता में कोई कमी नहीं पाई गई है। यहाँ तक कि हम लोग पानी की भी जांच कराते हैं ताकि कोई।
सर ऐसा ही विश्वास तो लोगों का तिरुपति बालाजी के वहाँ पर।
हाँ, जरूर ऐसा है। तो 50 साल में तो कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं हुई। उन लोगों ने 3 साल पहले जब कर्नाटक मिल्क फेडरेशन ने अचानक बहुत दाम बढ़ा दिया, तो उन लोगों ने नंदिनी घी लेना बंद कर दिया। हम लोगों के बीच भी समस्या थी, लेकिन हम लोगों ने बात करके उनको बाध्य किया, तो हम लोगों ने 10 रुपये की वृद्धि मानी। तो हम लोगों के यहाँ आ रहा है, उनके यहाँ शायद कुछ और फैक्टर हो गए, कोई किसी का रिश्तेदार है जो घी का सप्लायर है, उन लोगों ने प्राइवेट लोगों को दिया। इसलिए वहाँ भी जो विवाद है वो न कारीगरों के चलते है, न वहाँ किसी के चलते है, जो घी का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दूसरे लोगों को दिया गया उसके चलते विवाद है।
There is a protocol that is followed. The tanker will come with certification. The certification is that the NABL will be certifying it. There are 3 mandatory tests, we are told, which it has to undergo, after which only the tanker will be accepted. It's not just through the e-tenders and whoever wins the tender at the best price and, adhering to the technical kind of, demands of the particular tender and the specifications that are mentioned in it. Other than that as well, there will be these mandatory tests that are carried out, after which this is done. The testing facility not being available in TTD itself is one lapse, because after the ghee has come inside the TTD premises or the place actually in Alipiri in a stock, in a godown where all the stock is stored, even at that time, as we know, ghee and other oily items can turn rancid. So one would presume that there should have been some internal testing mechanism as well, which the executive officer has now clarified did not exist so far, and that they are getting in apparatus from the NDTV, who has donated it as 75 lakh rupees apparatus, which is now going to be used for getting the quality of the ghee tested before it is used for making the laddu. The other clarification that seems to come in is that that ghee, which was suspected to be adulterated, had been sent for testing, and that's the reason why they want to assure people that laddus that were made for Srivaru, as Lord Venkateshwara is called, that did not contain any of the animal fat. Even if we were to play out on our screens the lab reports, what it mentions is ghee samples. It does not mention laddu samples. It mentions the ghee samples, and it is the ghee samples that have been tested because sensorially it was thought that there seemed to be some problem with it, and that's the reason it was sent. Subsequently, vegetable fats as well as animal fats were reported in the samples that were sent across, and they backtraced the consignments to the vendor who had supplied it, and then those were blacklisted. Another point that the CEO in fact made was about the fact that the price that was set by the Tirupati Devasthanam for the ghee was low and it was not possibly viable, and that's the reason why when Chandrababu Naidu government came in recently, they have hiked the price of ghee to about 470 rupees per kg, which itself could be considered very low considering the market price otherwise that we see of cow ghee. But of course, there could be the prestige of supplying and such huge quantities being supplied